Hi again, everybody. Georgia basketball is in the off season. We talked about last 2 or 3 days. Georgia has had some scheduling announcements for games and a bunch of other fun stuff. So I think today we're going to talk about one of my favorite Georgia players. We're going to talk about Takais Brown. Takais Brown was from Flint, Michigan. Now, there's not really a lot about some of these older players for Georgia, but from what I understand, he went high school in Flint, and he started his career. Takais started his career. One second, I just got to pronounce the team's name again. So anyway, as I was saying, and I apologize, I had to find the school name and then something came up. So I had to cut the camera off for a minute. But Takais started his career at Southeastern Illinois Junior College, a JUCO college. Played really good there for 2 years. And then transferred to Georgia. Now, unfortunately, he only had 1 season with Georgia, but that's what we will focus on in this game. Or this game, rather. Holy smokes. This video, we'll focus on the 2006-07 Georgia Bulldogs. Now, you guys know what those teams mean to me. I love going back listening to old games with Scott and Jeff from this season. So we're going to talk about it. So he started pretty much every game for Georgia this year. He started 31 games, according to ESPN. He started 31 games. I just want to make sure, in case that's not correct, that I'm just reading what is on the ESPN website. And here's one of my favorite Takais Brown stats. This is very odd, but 31 games, he attempted 5 3-pointers, and he made 2 of them. He made one December 2nd at Wake Forest. The Dogs win 87-86. He went overall 4 from 9 from the field, including 1 from 1 from 3-pointer. Now, there is no footage of that one, unfortunately. But, of course, you guys know, against LSU later in the year, 57-54, of course, the Levi Stooks game, he actually hit a 3-pointer. He went 6 from 11, but he went 1 for 1 from 3-pointer. He would go on to try 3-pointers against Arkansas, give me 1 second here, ladies and gentlemen, and Florida in the SEC tournament that year. So he attempted 5 3-pointers and made 2. So that is pretty much that is good. That's good shooting right there. But Takais was not known for shooting the 3. He was known for being a big inside. My apologies. I forgot how the ESPN app worked. Well, I just named more minutes. We'll get to his actual points against Valdosta State. He had 23 points against South Carolina State. He had 13 points against Alabama A&M. He had 16 points against Wake Forest. He had 10 points against Gardner-Webb. He had 21 against Gonzaga in Duluth. This was the Mike Mercer dunk game. He had 11 against Georgia Tech. He had 8 against Clemson. He had 13 against Florida. He had 10 against South Carolina. He had 15 against Vanderbilt. And this is actually an important start of Georgia's season. This is where they go on early conference play push against South Carolina. He had 15 against Vanderbilt. He had 6 against Arkansas. He had 14 against Alabama. He had 21. That was the Ronald Steele game. Georgia loses 78-76. Ronald Steele traveled and they did not call it. Against Kentucky, he had 20. That game went to overtime. 78-69 win for Georgia. The Levi Stooks game, January 28, 57-54, the Levi Stooks buzzer beater. He had 15 points, including the 3-pointer we talked about. Unfortunately, Georgia's season starts to get bad after the Tennessee game. Takais goes on for 12, 14, 5, 13, 16, 14, 14, 17, 12, 13, 19, 12, and then in the NIT round against Fresno State, he went for 21, and then he had 9 points in the loss against Air Force on the end of the season. So Takais was a great big inside. in the game of college basketball, you need somebody who is going to dominate the paint and stuff like that. And for example, in the 06 and the 07 Kentucky game, Georgia had to make 2 second half comebacks. Well, none of them were with the free. They hit a few frees. Terrence Woodbury hit one, Sundiata Gaines hit one, but Georgia, for the most part, was dumping it into Takais and letting him work and score. I mean, there was even one particular case where Kentucky literally double-teamed the guy and was knocking him down, and he still scored. You don't have talent like that these days. I mean, big. He was 6'8", which, which is going to be a problem for anybody at all. So I mean, you look at, he averaged 14 points a game, 5 rebounds, and at the end of the day, he shot 56%, which is very, very good. Unfortunately, after the LSU game, our season kind of went downhill. That definitely is not his fault. I mean, you look at the points he averaged. I mean, he had 17. He had 17 points against Mississippi State, which was a win. He had 14 points against Ole Miss. He had 19 points against Florida and Auburn. He had 12 points against Florida. So I mean, it's a total team effort. Some of these games Georgia lost. Well, first off, how about Georgia was undefeated in non-conference play to the Georgia Tech game, but I progress. Never blame people for losses. Should not be blamed on individual players. They should be blamed overall. But I will say that Arkansas to the Tennessee game, so from January 17th to January 31st, that has to be one of the greatest stretches of Georgia basketball history of all time. You beat Arkansas on a half-court buzzer beater. You lose to Alabama on a buzzer beater, which he traveled. You beat Kentucky in overtime, after having to make not one, but 2 second-half rallies. And then Levi Stooks hits the buzzer beater against LSU, and then you lose a game that you come back in the last 8 or 9 minutes against Tennessee. That might be one of the greatest straight. I mean, that's even up there with this year, the loss to Auburn, and then the win versus Florida, the win over Texas, the win over South Carolina, and then the win over Vanderbilt. I mean, it would easily be up there with some of the greatest runs of all time for Georgia basketball. But we'll end it here. There's not much information about what he's doing now in 2025. So I really hope he's doing good. I hope he's doing all right. And maybe he'll find this video and he could reminisce of his season at Georgia. I wish it was more than one. Takais would have been great on the 07-08 team. Oddly enough, with this team too, Georgia was just so undermanned. And in 07-08, they got a few new players. They got Jeremy Price, Zach Swansea, Troy Brewer. That was also the season Rashad Singleton left. We'll do one on him next. I like Rashad Singleton. I was trying to remember who else. 07-08. I know I'm missing a name. Jeremy Jacobs. Yeah, Georgia. So that's what I'm saying. They got depth, but I mean, it was small depth. It wasn't big depth. Jeremy Price was the only big depth. And if you want to be honest, Georgia had really no big depth that year. They had Dave Bliss, they had Albert Jackson, and then you add a freshman, Jeremy Price. That's really it. Rashad Singleton left before the Gonzaga game. And then Takais went on the team. So, I mean, really, depth can determine how you do. Georgia, okay, just small players, all right. At point guard, you had Sundiata. You would have Billy Humphrey, Terrence Woodbury. I mean, Corey Butler too. I mean, you really didn't have. You'd have to worry about that when it comes to the smaller positions. Even the year before, Georgia was very, very, very undermanned. I mean, they would have Mike Mercer run the point when Sundiata would come out. So I mean, think about it for 06, 07, they would have Sundiata Gaines run the point. Then Levi Stooks would run the point. Then Mike Mercer would run the point. And even some games, I believe Billy Humphrey and Corey Butler ran the point guard position. So I mean, they were very undermanned. And you know, I'm very proud of Georgia. I'm proud of 06, 07 Georgia. I'm proud of 07, 08 Georgia. They still made big strides. Now, unfortunately, the 08, 09 season would probably not be as good. But even then, you know, what I just said, they gained Trey Tompkins, Dustin Ware, Travis Leslie, those guys, Marcus Fortin. Those guys would go on to become the next generation of great players at Georgia just 1 or 2 years down the road. Vincent Williams, and I mentioned KCP, but, you know, at the end of the day, 2025, I don't know what you're doing, TK. I hope you're doing good, man. I absolutely hope you're doing good. We hope you and your family is doing good. But yeah, the next one of these, we'll probably do one about Rashad Singleton. And then, you know, I could think of a lot more players I could do one of these with. So that's it. I will leave you with a few TK highlights for this video. I will leave you a few highlights. So yeah, go Hoop Dogs.
Microphones in the closet, no headphones, losses. Candy and some water, roaches hanging over the bottom. No AC, there's a break with sweat and trying to make me. He go again, I'm so funny, quit all his customers and fan pros. Next, shot on the back post. I'm thinking I got everything in country for the next phone. Now what you do to get here? Say that, boy. Lay it down and bring it to you raw. Say that, boy. Hey, now we heard some, suffer for more. Takes what we work for. Heading for the cussing. Hate to niggas cuss on. Held on, it was hard. Stepped up, took charge. Ran through what we scared of. What was we afraid for? Look at what we made of. Hard never hate us. Being here was alright. Fuck believe you won't more.
Fit that from that Buddha to that Judah foul. Now them country balls, they hit it down about 6 pounds. They cookie mood, them 10-4. Swanky with them 100 spoke. Skellet on that front post. Cause you know they got drove. 79, keep the bill.